What's going on, everyone? Namecoat Dustin here, Fantasy Smack Talk. This is our bi-weekly baseball show. And before we get into who we need to be adding, that's right, Fantasy Smack Talk. Before all the guys you need to be answering, answer the forum questions. Dustin's got a little bit, something he wants to get off his chest here.
Not really off my chest, but just a little tip for you.
It's a little tip.
So right now, I feel like there's a lot of teams that might be getting into a little bit of a rut with their role players as far as guys that they've picked up during the course of the season because they were playing really hot, maybe like Jordan Schaefer, Viciedo, Brian LaHair. But these are not necessarily proven guys. They've definitely trailed off a lot. Don't get into a rut with these guys. This happens with young players that come up. They might have instant success, but it's kind of a roller coaster ride for them. Don't be afraid to pick up and go after a new hot hand, a guy that could potentially sustain it throughout the whole year. Don't get into a rut with your role players. Might be time to make a move. Take a look at your bench.
Talking to you, Donger. Stop being an idiot. All right, let's get into the ads in all leagues. And Dustin, you go ahead and start off with 2 relief pitchers.
So we got Frieri for the Angels. We're going to keep putting them on this show. He's owned in more than 75% of leagues. Still only about 70% right now. The guy has just been insane. The K's have been there. He's not giving up earned runs. He is still somewhat splitting the closer duties with Downs, but he's still getting the majority of them, and he's going to help you with those K's. And the next one is Tom Wilhelmsen for the Mariners. This guy has been amazing in the last month. He has really got a strong hold on that closer job for the Mariners. I think leagues out. He's definitely worth looking at if you're looking for saves. Only owning about 40% of leagues. All
right, and I got a second baseman for you, and this is probably a guy that everybody in your league has picked up and dropped at one point, and that's Aaron Hill out there with Arizona. He had a great season a few years back, and then he's always been on the radar, and really hasn't panned out as of late. But in the last 2 weeks, he's batting over 400, has 4 bombs, which has raised his average to just below 300. He's got 10 home runs on the year. Now's the time to pick him up if you need second base help. He's proven in the past he can do it, and right now he's playing hot.
All right, let's talk about some guys to add in deeper leagues. Another closer for you, and that's Carlos Marmol for the Cubs. We all know what this guy is capable of, but he just hasn't been himself the last, couple of years or so. But he's still in the closer role. He can still be a cheap source of saves for you. He can still get those strikeouts. He's owning about 50% of leagues right now. He's still going to give you his 3 earned run outings here and there, but if you're looking for saves and Ks, not a bad guy to pick up.
All right, we're going to talk about a speed guy, and that's Ben Revere of the Twins, only owned in 20% of leagues right now. If you're in a roto league and you really need help for bags, this is the guy to be at, and he's batting right around 300, or actually a little over 300, and he's got 12 bags on the year. So again, roto leagues or even head-to-head daily setup leagues, he's a great guy to add.
Next, we got Casey McGee for the Pirates. Dual position eligibility with first and third, so obviously we like that. Only owned in about 10% of leagues right now, which is kind of surprising. Let's not forget what he did back in 2009 and 2010. 2010 had over 100 RBIs, decent power during those 2 years, batted around 290. Way down last year, his numbers were way down, but he's been really hot over the last couple of weeks. He's really starting to get things going. Not a bad guy to add. Hope maybe he can go back to his 2010 numbers.
All right, now we're going to be talking about Colby Rasmus, outfielder for the Toronto Blue Jays, owned in 50% of leagues. In the last 2 weeks, he's been batting right around 300, 5 home runs, 11 RBIs. This was a guy that was a pseudo fantasy darling, little sleeper guy coming into the year.
Darling.
He was a little bit fancy darling, never heard that? And he drops down, too cool over here, Mr. Goatee. Drops down, he got cut in a lot of leagues, and so now's the time to pick him back up. He's playing well. Flustered.
I did get you flustered.
Flustered.
Last guy I'm going to talk about to add in deeper leagues is Mr. Roy Oswalt. He's only on about 35% of leagues, so a lot of people have already started picking him up just to see what he can do. He's out there at Texas now. He's going to get his first start this week. And whenever he's been healthy, he's been great. So with all this time off, I think he could come in healthy, could storm out of the gate pitching pretty well, and at that point he could be a decent sell high guy for you if you're able to pick him up. Just see what he can do. I think he could surprise some people.
Last guy I'm going to be talking about is the guy I just picked up in our FST league, and that's Brandon Moss. Only owned in 5% of leagues, and right now he's batting 279. I don't think that's going to continue. The real reason I got him is because of his power. Since being called up on the 6th of June, he's got 7 home runs, 12 RBIs. Right now he's got like a 10-day contract with me. We'll see how it goes, but regardless, if you need a source of power, that's what this guy's going to bring you.
He refers to guys on his own team as having 10-day contracts. So
yes, sorry.
Don't let that confuse you with his actual contract.
Yeah. He's on the A's.
So one guy to just keep an eye on, add to your watch list, is Kirk Neuenhuis for the Mets. He bats leadoff for them. Decent source of speed and power. He can mix a little bit of both of those in there. Young guy, big upside. Just a guy to keep an eye on. He's definitely someone that we've got our eyes on. Decent guy for the Mets. It's form time. First one comes from PCSO2. They want to know, should they give away Chris Sale and get Jared Weaver in return? Kind of a tough one.
Yeah, that is a little bit tough because we are believers in Sale. We really like what the young kids, been doing this year. But with all that said, you got to go with Jared Weaver. He's got the proven track record. We even, said to pull the trigger on this prior to Weaver's outing the other night, where he came back from injury, did really well. So again, hopefully you did pull that trigger because they might have pulled it down based on his outing last night. All right, Dustin, the next question comes from McClody or MC Alati or McCludy, whatever this guy or gal's name is, wants to know Adrian Gonzalez for Wright and Fister. What are you thinking?
This one is an interesting trade, obviously. I think it comes down to team needs. I'm not a huge fan of Fister, but he is a decent pitcher. Once he gets back and going strong, he could be a nice addition to your squad. And, David Wright's been playing out of his mind. I do think Adrian Gonzalez is going to get things going and have a decent second half, but if you need third base help, which looking at your form post, it kind of does look like that's the case, I think this trade does make sense for you, and just cross your fingers that Wright stays healthy and comes even close to keeping his pace up. But that's it for our bi-weekly baseball show. Football just around the corner. We're getting all our rankings and everything in shape right now. Videos, rankings, all that stuff will be up very soon. So obviously getting those forums, lots of great stuff going on for us. I'm Dustin. This is Name Code.
Smack Talk.